Again. Now can you hear me? All the way in the back? All right, all right. Greetings, everybody. My name is Rich Addison, and I am the treasurer for AITP. I am subbing for Mr. Brooks Smith tonight. For anyone who would like to give Brooke a little bit of a sigh, he is stuck. Last thing we heard is he is stuck in Newark Airport, or he is on his way down here. So everybody go, ah, ah. But I'm sure he'll be here fine. So what I'd like to do is move forward. So who are we? AITP has been around, believe it or not, since the 1950s. And because of that, we've gone through, you can imagine how many different changes, permutations that have occurred over time. We have many different groups. If you look around the room, the one thing that I'm always proud about with this group is just the diversity. Not just workplace diversity, but also diversity in age, experiences, all the way across the room. So the networking is really important, and I love to see everyone interacting. We have national chapters all across the U.S. Raleigh, if I remember correctly, is the second largest. I think Chicago is the largest, but nonetheless, we continue to be one of the pioneers for AITP. Even during the COVID years, when it was very lean, and we would have a group like this on a conference call with roughly 15 people. So we have come a long way. Takes a village. You'll see some of these folks in here, if you would, and you're on the board of directors, if you would, please just raise your hand. Cannot tell you how much it really means to have this group. Without this group, it would be virtually impossible for us to continue to have the quality that we have in place. Perfect. Thank you. We also have our Management Advisory Committee, the MAC. In a couple of months, we're going to have a session at this location where we're going to have a CIO mentor, CIO CTO mentor. If you would, please take a look ahead. We'd love to have you. You'll see a slide on it here in a moment. So our sponsors, I mean, obviously an organization is not going to be able to continue to grow and be as successful as we have without quality sponsors. So I'm going to go through a few of them, our sustaining level. Is there anybody in here from Proofpoint tonight? Thank you very much. How about Barracuda? Thank you very much anyway. And Polera. Ditto. Thank you. Our ambassadors, if you're an ambassador, if you could please raise your hand. These are the individuals that help, particularly new folks who come in, that walk around, they wear a gold star, and they give you an opportunity to really get comfortable in our organization. All too often, I attend quite a few different associations, and oftentimes you just walk in and you kind of stammer around trying to figure out who to talk to. Their goal is to really help you be more comfortable in the way that we work and the networking capabilities in our programs here at AITP. Membership, Ms. Becky, if you could please come up and run us through the next few slides. Becky is our membership director. Let's give her a little hand.
Got to make sure I have all the microphones. So, well, membership is new to me this year, so thank you for indulging me. So we wanted to talk just a little bit about the types of membership we have. So we have individuals where you can join for 12 months or you can join for 3 months. And you can convert your quarterly membership into a year after you've tried us out, had a little trial. So please do that if you're a 3-month member. And then we have, this has been an experiment we've been doing, and it's been going pretty well with the what we call Group 5 memberships. And these are, we have both a corporate and an educational membership where 5 people from an institution can attend, and they're named by their coordinator. And we have several groups that are doing this right now, and attendees can be different every month. And the great thing about that is, you know, some of the groups are using those as employee incentives and rewards and for learning and things like that. And then we also have NC State as our first educational partner in this. And I know we have some students here tonight. So Kenya, thank you we're bringing the students. And we really love having them here and letting them network and learn as well. New members. We have 3 new members since last month. Joe, Eric, and Neha. I know Neha's here. Are either Joe and Eric here as well? Want to raise your hand? Where are you? I can't see from this far. I see Neha back there. Yeah, but I didn't see, was Eric here? No? Okay. Well, thank you for joining. Yes. Yeah, we really enjoy having new members and getting to introduce them to everyone, and I hope you're having a good time. Okay. Referral program. In fact, Neha's a referral, so thank you for doing that. So a little bit about the referral program. Members can refer new people, and you both get something out of it. So the existing member gets 2 extra months added on to their membership, and the new member gets 1 month. They both have to email membership and say, I was referred, I was the person that referred this person. And if they both do that within 30 days, then they will get those bonus months. And that has been going really well. And I'm going to show you what it was like in 2025, because that's when we did it a full year and it really took off. So we had 5 members who referred new members. 3 of those each referred 2 people, and collectively they earned 16 months in extensions. And one of those people that referred someone was a referral themselves. So on the guests, we had 8 people join as new members. 7 are still members. They're getting ready to come up for renewal this month, so I'll be reaching out to them to make sure they continue on. And they all earned 8 months in extensions. One set of referrals was a husband and wife. I really like that. That was a great strategy for the person that did that. And yeah, we're really happy that it has done so well. And we encourage you to think about that. Think about your colleagues and friends who might benefit from being a member and take advantage of that. All right, sponsorship. Not going to spend a ton of time on this. We talk about it every time. There's a QR code on the table. One side is membership, one side is sponsorship. So you can always go to our website and find out about it. But we've got 4 levels: social, chapter, foundational, and then sustaining. So each one increases in what benefits the company gets from that. So, and by the way, again, thank you, sustaining sponsor, for being here. Yay! We appreciate you. And next month, you want to do this one? All right, you need this guy.
Thank you, Becky. Next month's topic. So next month we're going to be leading with confidence, trust, influence, and courage. It is a panel. We haven't had a panel program for quite some time. And I found out that we're actually missing now a 4th one. Olivia Bastian is going to be joining us as well from First Citizens. So we're going to have a pretty good round out group. Please, would love to have you join. A list of our upcoming events. April is still open. We've got some tentative ones that are out there. I preview the coming attractions. I don't want to give away all the secrets. CIO mentoring program in May. Joint event with Sim in June at the Carolina Exotic Car Club. If you've never been there, it's a great place, particularly if you like cars. And honestly, even if you don't, it's just a cool venue. So we'd love to have you come. And then July is also open. So with that, I'd like to ask Marsha Olson if you want to come up for a moment, please.
Okay. Can everyone hear me? So I was here last year. How many heard me last year? Not enough. Okay. Last year I came and talked about the fact that it was really critical that people upscale and upskill, and that you get a hold of AI and that you understand what it was about and get trained. And a lot of people came to the All Things AI inaugural conference last year. We had a lot of fun, and it was really cool. This year, what you're going to see is that a lot more people are going to come. And the thing that's going to happen this year is that you're not only going to get an opportunity to continue that journey, but you'll also hear from people that are now doing it. So what I want to tell you is that this is your chance to actually go and still have an opportunity to get into the workshops that will tell those people that want to learn what AI is all about. It's called the Business and Professional. But on the second day, when you look at the keynotes, they cross everything. They cross the engineering side, the IT side, the executive side. There's like 6 different tracks this time. And in those tracks are people that are literally doing it. So you sit there, soak it up, see what people are doing, and take those lessons learned and be able to pull those back into the work that you're doing and carry on. And what we have is a 20% discount for anyone in AITP. So I have that for you guys all here today. Now they're saying that it's a limited discount, but really I got to figure that probably we won't run it out. And if we do, I'll borrow, beg, and steal from one of the other organizations that I also have those for. So I want to encourage you to take advantage of that. And that'll be available via the AITP guys. And if you don't have access to it, just catch me. Just send me a note through the AITP. And if you have, a group and you want to catch me, like through your work, through your organization, I can probably work something out for some kind of a discount for your organization if you have like a group of 5 or more. So any questions on what's going on with that? I don't want to hold up our dynamite speaker tonight. Just come. It's fun. It's a wild day. Everybody that goes will attest. Everything from the networking. The other thing is you get on the list, and then you get all of the recordings from all of the topics. So when you're trying to figure out between 2, 3, or 4 different topics, don't worry, you get them all. Good, come. It'll be fun.
Thank you, Marcia. Sounds like a great event. Thank you for introducing this, and hopefully somebody can take advantage of this. So this month, I had the honor early on, when Abel first came into town. I've had multiple lunches with him, lots of conversations offline. Generally, I don't like to read it, but about the speaker, I think it's important. I want to read this one, so if you would just give me a moment. Abel is a retired U.S. Army IT and cybersecurity executive with more than 15 years of leadership experience supporting large, complex organizations. During his military career, he served in senior leadership and operational roles supporting Joint Special Operations Command, United States Army Special Operations Command, Military Intelligence Unit, the 82nd Airborne Division, and numerous other joint and Army units. He held senior positions, including Deputy Chief Information Officer for the 82nd Airborne Division, where he led enterprise IT operations, cybersecurity initiatives, and cross-functional teams supporting more than 18,000 troops. So if you would, can we give him a warm welcome, Abel. I don't know if you want that up there, but totally take care of it. Thank you.
Can everyone hear me fine? All right, awesome. First of all, want to say thank you.
Actually, if you could, a little closer.
Closer?
Yeah, a little closer. It might be easier for people in the back, please.
Hold this in my hand. All right. All right, everyone can hear me now, right? Loud and clear? All right, awesome. All right, Abel Tavares. So, first of all, I want to say...
One moment. How about if I put up your slide deck?
Oh, that would be awesome.
Please don't tell Brooke. I'll never get the job back.
I got done it without the slide deck. But, before we get started, I wanted this one do a little shout out to Brooke, Kate, Mark, Richard, and then also Patrick. Patrick was the one who introduced me to the AITP. Oh, switch. As we get the logistics straightened. All right, perfect. Who introduced me to this group a number of years ago as I was transitioning out of the military. And I just want to say thank you to them. I wouldn't be here right now speaking in front of all of y'all if it wasn't for them. And also, you'll see in a couple of the other slides. Again, the goal about this talk is not about the military, but connect real world leadership experience in situations that you guys are exposed to every day. From market uncertainty to AI disrupting the workforce to tariffs to staffing changes and so forth. It's a very challenging world we are working in now. Let's see. There we go. All right, so this photograph right here is the photograph on the right or to your left is a significant photograph. And I'll explain this a little bit later on. Just to highlight, that was my first job as a director of information technology in the Army. I was sent off on my own. And the picture to your right, my left, this was really significant, especially now at the banner with Duke, as now I'm a current graduate student at Duke, Pratt School of Engineering. All right, let's get this going. All right, so for most people here, I found out tonight that a lot of folks who've talked to me in the past meetings did not know I served in the military. I was a little surprised. I was like, okay. But I also wanted to share too is I did not start as an officer. I enlisted into the military at the age of 17 in Hawaii. And I enlisted as an infantryman. And then while at basic training or AIT at Fort Benning, Georgia, great place to visit if you ever get a chance. They decided, hey, you're going to be an indirect mortarman, basically a little tube shooting little rounds. And then eventually I became a direct infantryman. But that right there was why I started to become a leader, where they made me become a team leader, a squad leader, where I was in charge of 4 or 5 soldiers up to 12 soldiers at a very young age. We're talking about 18, 19, 20 years old. I was responsible for these soldiers' lives. Some were older than me, some were younger than me, all different backgrounds, different economic backgrounds, different parts of the country. So that's where my leadership started as a young man in the military. And then as I served, got bored by being in the infantry, got tired of going to the field. So I decided, hey, let me go switch and become a combat medic. Became a certified EMT, went out and got to work in different trauma centers in emergency rooms and go to the field. Then I got bored with that and decided, hey, I wanted to do something a little bit different. I might eventually want to go special forces, be a Green Beret, be a 18 Delta, be a medic, or a special forces medic. So decided to go become a surgical technologist. That was interesting. Got exposed to a lot of smart people, neurologists and so forth, and then joined a Ford Airborne Surgical Team. And what that is, if you've ever seen the TV show or the movie MASH, it's a small surgical team, airborne personnel, from the doc to the surgeons down to the techs. And we just jumped out of airplanes to provide a Role 2 care to the warfighter, no matter anywhere in the world. And we got to practice that in northern Iraq as we parachuted in to support the Kurds and all that, the opening salvo of 2003 for Operation Iraqi Freedom. And then on the log that way, joined another Ford surgical team at Fort Bragg and went to a program with my boss of mine, who was an orthopedic surgeon, who was a former 18 Delta Special Forces medic who went to school and became an orthopedic surgeon. And that course, there was a second lieutenant by the name of Lieutenant Davis. I will never forget her. And this is a program that they brought up military-wide, Army-wide, was they were looking for senior non-commissioned officers to come join the officer rank. This is the height of the Iraq War, where we were losing, had a lot of casualties. We had a lot of folks just leaving the service just because the turnover, coming back to the States and not having that year time to reset, you end up going back. So after that day, of course, went back, talked to my executive officer. He talked to the command sergeant major. He talked to the 2 colonels. Talked to General Volpe. They're like, hey, tell Abel to go put his packet in. Put my packet in. And a couple of weeks later, I get a call for that Lieutenant Davis. I was floored that I got selected. We're talking about 520,000 active duty personnel, only 63 slots. They waived my time in service. They waived our age waiver. I did not have an undergraduate degree at the time. It's like, hey, we think you should become an officer. I was like, okay. Literally, I almost fell out of my chair and started laughing. And then a year later, I headed off down to Fort Benning, Georgia again for officer candidate school. And prior to that, I was selected to be a signal operations officer. And my boss, who was a colonel at the time, patted me on the back, laughing down the hallway. I did not fully understand why he was laughing till a couple years later. It goes back to that first photo you saw me in the uniform. So anyhow. And then here's some of the key assignments. That photo goes to this first bullet comment up here at the top. Now, again, my first job as director of IT. If you can imagine, I report there in mid-August. By mid-November, when we have multiple things going on, we're getting fielded new IT equipment. We're getting rid of the old equipment. We got folks going down to Joint Readiness Training Center down in Louisiana to observe and coach units going through training. We got folks getting ready for what we call combined arms exercise. And then at the same time, we're getting filled in new equipment. We're talking about, if you imagine going to your corporation and ripping out all your IT equipment and getting fielded all brand new equipment. And prior to this, I went to the captain career course down at Fort Gordon, Georgia. That had a 1-hour class by a acquisition officer on this new equipment that I've never touched or operated in my life. Get to this assignment, we go on the block leave. Basically what that is you get 2 weeks where you're able to go to vacation, the majority of the soldiers. And that first day I come back to work just to see what's going on and get told, yes, it's official, we're deploying to Iraq. This is as ISIS is pushing down to Iraq. We had to relieve the unit from Kuwait so they can go home. So and then I get told, oh yeah, you're going to ABA. Basically, you're going to be the first one with your group of guys getting there, setting things up, all the IT equipment for the soldiers coming into the theater. Oh yeah, out of your 30 guys, you're only allowed to take 5 guys out of your shop. And then a day later, say, nope, you're now only allowed to take only 4 of you guys out of the shop. Now imagine, my right-hand person, my senior NCO, he's out on medical leave. My next person, he's down in school down in Fort Gordon. So I have this young little E5 that just moved from Alaska to North Carolina. I say, hey, guy, come here. Let's go in the office. Let's figure out who we're taking, what equipment we're allowed to take. And we figured it out. 4 weeks later, right after Christmas, we deployed to Kuwait, got there, figured things out, got things arranged, and then find out the equipment that we were just getting fielded does not work on the network in Kuwait. I was like, oh, well, crap. All right, how am I going to figure out how to get comms up for the warriors? Found an old piece of equipment that was left behind for a unit that was deactivating. Asked the majors, hey, can we have that? Got assigned for it. And we're literally putting servers together. Tape, some gum, got it up and operational, got it on the side, got it working. And then from there, we deployed it up to Baghdad. And then we pushed up to Baghdad and started setting up the tactical operations center for our incoming leadership and soldiers. So that's why that one photo is very significant for me. Spent 2.5 years there in that unit, deployed to support coalition forces to push back ISIS. Now I won't go into the details of all that, but that was a very long 10-month deployment. And then from the 882 paratroopers, that grew up to about 1,500 soldiers from special forces units we supported to the regional security officers from the State Department and Navy SEALs and some other folks. And then my second assignment right here, you see here, is Afghanistan. This is from 2018 to 2019, where my role, I was triple-hatted. the deputy of director of IT for the brigade task force. Then I became the director for the IT for a subordinate battalion. And then it grew even more where they added, hey, Abel, we need you to be the electronic intelligence warfare officer also. And also the forensic lab outside of Atlanta, Georgia, you're going to be responsible for. So I was like, okay. And this was going to be a 13-month deployment. Now, what's significant about that period of time, and if you remember when Trump became president the first time, if you remember that conversation that he had with President Obama, North Korea was becoming an issue. And for most people who don't realize, we came very close to having a conflict there. It's not ended up being this actual fact. So that's why the unit I was with just got back from Afghanistan. The unit that was supposed to go got told, nope, you're staying in place because of what's going on in Asia. Unit, you're going back for 13 months. So the people who I was going with just got back home, and now they're turning around to go back for 13 months to Afghanistan. And again, that was even more interesting because I was in an intelligence unit where we had people spread out all over Afghanistan and supported them IT-wise in a very intense environment, very hostile environment. We're talking about manned ISR aircraft to unmanned ISR aircraft. And that was very interesting. The learning curve was massive for me. Got to learn that. And then also dealing with coalition forces, the Germans, the Australians, and so forth. And then lastly, again, talk about that last bullet right there, learning a whole new field of top secret tech for JSOC and all that. And then General Donahue was the JSOC operations commander in Afghanistan at that time. He was the last one who stepped on the aircraft when we evacuated Afghanistan, who I got to meet personally and talk to multiple times. And then also General Miller, the last commander of Afghanistan, who I became friends with. So those were big significant moments for me as an IT cybersecurity professional, and learned a lot from those gentlemen about leadership. Now, my other key assignment is now, what I'm doing now. Again, being a graduate student at Duke University. This is where, again, thanking the Association of IT Professionals. If it wasn't for some of these mentors from that mentoring event last year, I would have never applied to Duke's executive program, got accepted, spent 12 weeks doing that, meeting folks from around the world, meeting executives from within the United States, and just being wow of the folks I got to meet. And then got introduced to Art, the cybersecurity executive at Duke, who encouraged me to apply. And then I got accepted into the program. And I'm in week 5 now. So it's been exciting. All right, so defining soft skills, why they matter. As everybody knows, for the last probably the last 18 months, 24 months, we've been seeing these major layoffs and stuff happening. And I've met some of these folks, from Amazon and so forth, and how they were notified why they got laid off, or how they were informed that they were being laid off. So this is more about soft skills as leaders that we need to have to change the way we interact with our employees. People matter. I understand corporations, the bottom line does matter, but people matter. You take care of your people, they'll take care of your bottom line. So again, these skills are not exclusively for the military, but they're exclusively as just being leaders, no matter if you're in corporate America or in the U.S. military. So that's what we're going to discuss. It's going to be 6 different areas. And here we go. All right, communication. As you see up there. Communicating is very important. How you communicate with your folks, right? Your people. Examples that I like to share is, as I brief commanders, I got to know my audience. I got to say, hey, as talking to leaders, their time is valuable to them. So I keep things straight, concise, and give them the information they need, right? The wave tops, nothing more. And be prepared to anticipate what questions they're going to answer me. And then in corporate America, again, during the economic shifts, the tariffs, new competitions, AI, the reorganizations, cyber incidents, budget changes, restraint. Your message isn't clear with your team's fills the blanks and usually worry. So the big takeaway here is you got to be clear with your team, give them that vision. The one part too is here is also active listening. For me as a leader, I'm always going out to my junior leaders and asking them questions, listening to them, because those folks on the ground floor or closest to the action where the rubber meets the road have a better idea what's going on within that organization than usually some of the corporate leaders or mid-managers. And that's who I will always go to talk to. And they're the ones who kept me straight and sharing what was going on. And for corporate America, you know, those frontline employees are critical. They will give you the heartbeat, what's going on in your corporation, what's going on with that customer. They'll see the trends happening before corporate leaders will. If you think about it, they'll see these trends long before leaders do. But the big thing here is with the pain points with these frontline employees, right? They'll tell you the pain points, they'll let you know the gaps, they'll let you know about morale of the team, of those employees. It's really important to you just to listen, just actively just listen to them, okay? Now, with this, communication is not just like, again, speaking, it's all about understanding and aligning in those teams and getting accomplished whatever that is that you need to get accomplished with that team, right? Before any mission my soldiers would go out to, or I would go out to, we would like align the team. And what that basically is, this is what the mission is, what we need to get accomplished. We give them a vision so they can see it in their minds, what we need to get accomplished. And then what's even more importantly is that vision of what the results that we're looking for. Basically what we call like you got the commander's intent, and then the commander's telling you, hey, this is what we see what success is. So the lowest ranking employee to the highest ranking employee have a good understanding of what you're trying to accomplish. They can see it. They know what success looks like. And that's really important for corporate America. You know, if it's like onboarding new staff, integrating acquisitions, whatever that happens to be, or a new system or a new program, they understand what the end results that you're looking for. And they can tell you, again, it goes back to what I said earlier. They'll let you know, hey, we need to make some adjustments, boss, or go from there, okay? And alignment beats controls, and it empowers the team. It empowers your people. Now, adaptability. This one I know very well, especially in the different dynamic environments I've been into, where things can change in a drop of a dime quickly, and we have to make quick adaptations to help supporting our war fighters. It could be weather, it could be a political event to happen, or it could be available resources, or available or not available. So we learn how to reassess really fast and reprioritize and keep on moving forward, whatever that situation happens to be. In business, again, as administrations changes, the economic environment changes. From pressures to economic pressures to tariffs, and now with AI, supply chain disruptions, the list goes on, or new competitors showing up. But again, adaptable leaders do not wait for stability. They lead through change. As things are changing, you got to keep on leading. Another example for adaptability is for my teams, they always looked for leadership for directions and purpose, and also communicate the intent. Again, like for executive leaders, like you have a merger happening, you want to make sure that your team understands about the merger. Excuse me. And because that causes a lot of uncertainty for a lot of corporations, for your employees. So clarity, adaptability, excuse me, and you don't want to lose your composure. Well, thank you. Excuse me. But your composure, how you lead a team, will build their confidence. Empathy. Of all the talking points, this is probably my favorite one. Empathizing with their people. You know, when systems fail, resources are limited. Building solutions from spare parts to empowering your junior leaders. Organizations with staff departures and rapid hiring. You got to empathize. Basically, you know, if your company's doing the drawdown or reorganizing, you know, empathize with your employees. They're going through a tough time. It's a life-changing event happening for them. Equivalent for me when I was in the military, you know, soldier going off to school to become a PA or going to a new assignment or getting promoted, being into a leadership position that causes stress, or getting married, or it's an issue with their child or something like that. We would provide that empathy, like listen to them and say, hey, we are trying our best to understand what's going on with you in your lives and so forth. And through that, you show compassion for those soldiers or for your employees, you know. These are not easy to do, and I do understand time is essential. But if you can make the time just to get to know your employees and empathize what's going on in their lives, I think you can make a big difference in their lives. Well, I know you can make a big difference. And then creating a culture where people solve problems, and I just follow the process. And, you know, supporting that mental health is another one that's really, really a powerful thing to do. So now, for folks in here, right, for empathy, anybody have an example of what they've done in themselves as a leader or as a co-worker for empathizing with an employee at all? You, right there. What are your thoughts about empathy?
It's pretty crucial. I haven't really been in leadership position myself, but just that kind of support. I've seen what happens to teams when you don't support it, and it can cause cascading effects. It affects more and more people.
Okay. And the young lady right behind you, what are your thoughts on what he just said? Okay. Okay. Now, where are my NC State students at? Ma'am, what are your thoughts?
I mean, I haven't really been in leadership positions at NC State yet, but I definitely feel like when my president talked to him and asked things going on in my life, and I'm telling him that I can't to the next meeting, he is always understanding, always like, these are things that I want you to get done, whenever you can. So it's very motivating.
Motivated? Okay. Some senior people over here on the right. What are your thoughts? And your experience too.
Yeah, I think it definitely creates loyalty, right? It is actually pleasing to hear somebody from the military, no harm, no foul, but to talk about empathy and compassion, because a lot of times we do forget that, even for soldiers, think of those guys doing training, just not the truth of the matter. I told managers early on, I said, always manage people first and employees second. You forget that they're people. If you take the humanity out of it, you're going to fail. They're never going to look up to you. They're never going to respond to what you do. So when you get that call that somebody's going through a rough issue, you help them through it, right? You keep it where your humanity is a big part of it. It pays off mutually involved.
I agree. One example I like to use is Rick Hendrick Automotive Group during COVID, as equivalent companies were laying off folks because of the COVID shutdown. He told us, you always go around telling his people, people are always first. He's like, I am not going to lay anybody off. I will pay your salaries out of my own pocket. And that's what he did. Once the COVID restrictions got lifted, his automotive group was able to execute and get going, get business up and running immediately, while his competitors were struggling to get folks back on the job that they let go. And then what resulted was those employees came back and worked even harder for him because he took care of them. And he just shot up and built that bottom line, became the most profitable automotive group during that period as soon as the COVID lifted. Now, somebody in the back, that young lady, yes, ma'am.
It just becomes transactional. People are going to go, it's going to be a rotating door. You don't have that loyalty. You don't have the trust. And like, you're just a business, and I can leave whenever I want. And so you're not going to have, you don't have empathy. That's what you really see the effects of it. Higher turnover, less loyalty, people not bought into your company.
So how do you encourage empathy in your employees and in your leaders? Yes, ma'am. Okay. My favorite table, the young man back there. What are your thoughts on the empathy, sir? Yes, sir.
So I think, obviously it's very important. There's one thing that stuck early in my career. Someone told me it was, being empathy is the golden rule. Not maybe most of us were taught it. Do unto others as you want done to you, but do unto others as they want done to them. So I'm in sales. I have an agenda. I push things on people, but am I doing it from a place and understanding the challenges or maybe the pains they're facing? Like what problem can I help this person solve within their own organization, within their own team to achieve their own goals or to hopefully make their life better.
Okay. And then one more. Ken, what are your thoughts, sir?
Yeah, I'll give you an example. So I had a junior tech on call one night. I was a CIO, and the network went down about 3 o'clock in the morning. I get a notification. Most folks would just continue to sleep. I knew I had people, right? I knew that this guy was a junior tech, and it was probably the very first time he'd been by himself. So imagine his surprise when I show up at 4 o'clock. So when I got there, he was panicking. He was absolutely panicking because he'd forgotten the sequence of restarting the server. So he was really standing there for 20 minutes. He could have fixed it right away. I didn't do anything. I just showed up. And because I showed up and was with him, standing with him, toe to toe, I just was like a calming force. And that was the whole point, right? If I needed to step in and do it, I would have, but I didn't have to. But just by being there, he kind of calmed down, did the sequence, and we were back up and running.
Okay. Awesome. Awesome examples. Love everybody's input. Now, decisions making under pressure. Now, this one right here. If you've ever been an IT professional, especially in the military, making decisions under pressure is common, especially for us IT folks. When everything's working, everybody's happy. Something goes down, God help you, because the boss generals are coming down on you real quick because you got people's lives on the line, especially if you're forward deployed. Has anybody ever had, especially with some of the executives in here, ever had to make decisions under pressure before? Oh, Rich. Yes, yes, sir. Do I give an example?
And a infrastructure subsystem that completely locked up and shut the company down. We had to decide whether or not to get the reset button to restore. By doing that, we would have lost thousands of millions of transactions in flight or write it out. We decided to write it out, and generally speaking, at the time, I was not a real popular individual. But at the end of it, when we recovered and came back, we weren't figuring out what files were damaged, destroyed, and into a disaster recovery environment. That was probably one of the greatest pressures that I've ever been in.
Okay. Any other examples from anyone? My example would be in Afghanistan, where our Special Forces team could not communicate with a USR platform above them for air support. That it came to head. And we brought the different teams in and brought the two units that owned those unmanned platforms that were under my charge. And had a very long night in Bagram trying to figure this out. We got it solved, especially with our contractors also. But at the same time, we're receiving incoming as we're trying to have this conversation. Wasn't fun, but we got it done. Now, the second bullet right there, balancing speed with accuracy. Any examples from anybody from the audience to come to that? The gentleman in the back corner. Yes, you, sir. Yes.
So balancing speed with accuracy, I think in my career, some of the situations that I've had to deal with, we handle the situation evaluating risk. And what is the risk? And I'm in healthcare, so I'm constantly looking at health risk mitigation and providing the results or potentially providing results that doctors are going to use to make practical decisions about their patients. And so you have to look at how quickly you're going to make a decision for the risk of potentially putting out bad results versus how quickly you're trying to resolve the situation. And so that's one of the elements that we use is risk management and everything.
Yes.
And what is our appetite for risk? And that appetite for risk, I gave you an example about patient results. However, we use risk around most decisions that we have to make as executives in regards to the appetite, in regards to will it impact our profitability, will it impact our ROI, will it impact compliance, security, all those various factors we take into consideration as we're trying to balance speed.
Now, how do you explain that to your employees for their understanding?
That's a great question because the way that I deal with my employees is I let them know. I want to hear from them as far as what is the best way to say it. I want them to do what's right. So I want them help. I'm going to make the decision on whether or not we go one direction or another. I want them to tell me what the best solution is, give me alternatives, and then as their leader, I will then help direct which decision we make and what risk we take as a result of that decision. So I'm supporting them in regards to, I'm not expecting you to make this decision, but I'm expecting you to give me all the facts, and then I will help you make the decision, and then tell them why I made the decision so that they can make that.
Okay. All right. Now, confidence and accountability in a high stakes decision. Perfect example right there, helping your employees make the decisions. The gentleman right there, without his glasses on. Any ideas? Yes, you. Yes, sir. Any thoughts? So, what are your thoughts about decision making under pressure? And any of those 3 bullets, or even expand beyond that?
These are to high risk decision.
Okay. All right. Ms. Olson, you have a lot of experience and a lot of wisdom. What are your thoughts, ma'am?
Well, usually that all comes with short time. That's a given.
Yes, ma'am.
So my first thing when those kinds of things come up is find your best people.
Okay.
Because they're going to tell you like it is. And usually there are people in your organization that have the information that help you balance those items. In the end, you have to make that call, and you are accountable.
Mhm.
You are, at the end of the day, the one that goes down. But usually I find that the people that are around me will come to me to help to do that. So I don't have the problem providing the information and being accountable. That's why I'm there. In
Awesome.
fact, if you don't ask me, I'll take them. Right?
Yes, ma'am. Absolutely. Building trust. This was I think might be some challenging. But again, I think building trust is just by leading an example. Show that example of what type of employee you want. Any person? Let's see. Yes, ma'am. Mhm. Okay. Becky, do you have any ideas on trust? Building that trust? Any thoughts? No, what examples of building that trust with colleagues, employees, with the boss?
Definitely think the leading by example is important. Showing people um, trusting people with the tasks we give them. No micromanagement. Saying, hey, I have this task. Please do it. Here's the outcome I would like you to head toward. How you get there is fine, but I'm trusting you to get this done. By starting with asking, starting with trusting people for the proof of stand. They can't be trusted. Helps build trust.
Okay. In my mind, go ahead, sir.
I do have something about building trust that I just learned last year, a guiding principle, and that was I was talking to somebody, an executive in this organization, and I was new to the organization, and we're talking about trust in a more abstract way. And what she said to me in that moment was, Lewis, you have to assume best intention. And I went, oh, I've never heard that before. You have to assume best intention. And I grabbed onto that and I used that today. Everybody I meet. And I may have been doing it, but I wasn't doing it consciously, and now I am. I'm consciously assuming best intention. And that simple concept has, I think, solidified my ability to establish trust with people, and it's one of my guiding principles.
So the second bullet right there, integrity and transparency. That was a big one for us in the military, integrity. No matter what the situation is, even if it's your fault, be honest about it. Take responsibility for it. The gentleman right there, what are your thoughts on integrity, sir?
Critical. And if you make a mistake, make mistakes. Don't make the same mistake twice, but don't get offensive about it. Be honest, we're all here to help. One way, someone that makes mistakes, don't get that. But be very all made the same mistake. All accidentally done something wrong you should have.
Yeah.
All humans do make mistakes.
Yeah. We want integrity, transparency, staying consistent with your words and your actions. That all just leads up to just leading by example. Those principles. Now, there's another one that's really, it hammers. This is probably what I enjoy doing the most, is mentoring young people and coaching them. Like here now at Duke, I'll have a lead for our satellite research project, have another lead who she leads all the students on campus, and another one that leads all the students online. And in the background, I'll help them when they engage with Palo Alto Networks or with the CEO or CEO or the VP from DigiFlight and so forth. Like, hey, how do I respond? How do I answer this? How do I answer this email that Justin has just sent us? And then teams, I'll send them a message, hey, this is what you need to do, ... And they'll take it, package it, and then they get it done. But this is something I've always enjoyed. And, my big thing giving back is, the next generation of leaders, encourages them, develop them. I'm always inviting people to different organizations. If I meet somebody who's interested in cybersecurity, I will sit down with them and talk to them, young people, go to the high schools, or my kids go to a co-op, I'll talk to the students there, or even about joining the military. I have multiple conversations about that. Even tonight, I had a conversation with one of our individuals here about joining the military, who's really interested in doing that. But I believe it's very important that every individual here take the time to find somebody, that young person, even the older person, and mentor them. Because I've mentored folks who are 10 years older than me, and then coaching them and then follow up with them. It's like, hey, where are you at? I had a conversation with a Navy vet who just retired from the Navy about a week ago. Never met him in person, got introduced him through this organization, and we spoke for about an hour on the phone. And then every week I'm checking in on him. Hey, where are you at now? Was there anything I can do to help you? And just giving ideas of what you can do. I know we're getting close to time. The gentleman with a great mustache, I love that mustache. What are your thoughts about mentoring and coaching, sir?
On the healthcare technology, and we do marry members, staff. What about patient care? Be able to get their procedure completed. Like, for example, most of my clients are here. We had an average of 3 ORs. We had patients on the table. And we took 3 people that were experienced, married into 2 patients, all BIAs, all these ORs. So we had the outages, we had to do. We made sure we married those people with experience, know what's going on. So it's all about educating the people that's coming behind you and give their input. So, like I said, people on the floor, on the front lines, the ones that are good to touch it.
And then I will say, I'm also a recipient of being mentored and coached by several folks here, from Rich to Mark to Ken to Ms. Olson, constantly checking in on me. Hey, how are you doing? What can we do to help you out? So another thing too is sharing experiences. Like Mark and I the other day, man's full of freaking knowledge. It blows my mind away. Or Rich blows me away talking to him, having a cup of coffee with him. Like, okay, I understand. But for you NC State students, this is really important. You're never too old, you're never too young to mentor and coach, even if it's a fellow student. Take that person, say, hey, let's do this together. The other thing that I do now here at Duke is we have a lot of foreign students, understanding the American culture. Yes, sir.
When I met her, I first thought I had to, distribute these pearls of wisdom, out there right now to enlighten them to the truth of the world. And that's not what I do anymore. It's just like, you've got a problem, well, let's talk about it. And when I talk about that problem, I think that helps them see, well, here's how more experienced person, what considerations they're even going through their mind. Maybe it's not the total fear that they're going through. It's just like, well, let's just talk through it this way. And I think mentoring is a lot easier to get into if you don't think you have to, some say tool or
Okay. Yes, sir. Okay. All right. Great. Thank you for sharing. The 4 C's: competence, character, commitment, and courage. Resiliency. I think these are pretty self-explanatory, from what we've spoken before. Showing empathy, setting the example. And then, again, to close out, leadership. It's everybody's business. Build that team, that strategic vision, with that tactical execution, especially with the people who you're leading. And then for the conclusion, again, I believe soft skills are very enduring. Leadership matters. People matter. I'm hoping with us in the room and that we can change corporate America, that people come first, not the bottom line, not that dollar, and change the way business leaders look at their employees. I'm not saying it's going to be perfect, but I think we can make changes to the way industry were back in the 70s and 80s. But again, thank you for your time and your patience. Any questions at all? Oh, perfect. That is why I'm at Duke right now, trying to figure that out. Cyber. Oh, so.
My question was, what is the value for getting free? What would you like to do?
That's why I'm at Duke, to figure that out. Cybersecurity, it is a big field. So I decided cybersecurity would be the domain I'm going to go into. But what exactly within cybersecurity I want to do, I'm not sure. Like right now, I'm taking a cyber threat intelligence class, and it's mind-boggling how they look at threats for industry and so forth. I'm really enjoying this conversation because both adjunct professors are working in that field now. One of them, she works for Walmart, and she lives right outside the Washington, D.C. And she drives down to teach us every once a week and turns around and drives back every night. The commitment of her coming down to teach us these lessons that she teaches our class. And she's an American citizen now, but she's from Eastern Europe. And her background, speaking 5 different languages, and what she's seen or even the CIA trying to recruit us, like, no, I don't want those restrictions put on me because I have a lot of family in Eastern Europe. I want to be able to visit them. But the things I've learned from her have been pretty mind-boggling. And then the Dr. Boyce, former FBI agent, works a lot with the federal government. He started his own business, and he shares a lot of insights too. So right now, I'm leaning towards that way. There is a lot of analytical work, a lot of writing, and understanding these different APTs, these threat actors is really interesting to me. And then last night, we did a presentation in our groups. Mine was APT-41, a group out of China. They work for the state of the government of China, and then when they're not doing anything for the state, they'll go around moonlighting, hitting different financial sectors and so forth. But right now, I'm not 100% sure. That's what I'm trying to figure out.
You see companies coming to you to recruit?
Yes. So the big thing with Duke is that's been impressive is every adjunct professor is actively in that field. They're teaching. If it's threat intelligence, if it's a CISO, and so forth. And then, like for some of our final projects, it's industry leaders who are grading us, not the professors. They're bringing in outside folks to grade us, give us feedback. That makes it even more challenging and more robust. You must understand what you're talking about and what you're showing. Like right now, I'm in the leadership course, acting as a CISO for different corporations, and that 0 day occurs. What do you do, and so forth. Again, Duke is very unique in that way, where they have folks in industry as an advisory board from Apple and so forth, Palo Alto. They're changing the curriculum on the fly. Every semester is changing. And then you have those industry leaders that come in and teach you. So it's really impressive for myself. And it's a little bit intimidating too. So again, don't know what I want to do when I grow up, but I'm trying to figure that out. So, because again, this is probably the fourth or fifth career change I've done in my life. And once I do cybersecurity and figure that out, I'll do another career change again. I don't plan on ever retiring. I plan on working until the day I push up daisies, whatever that could be. But that's just me. But again, thank you for your time. I hope you took some value out of this conversation. And I'm available afterwards if you have any questions you want to ask me one-on-one. So going once, going twice. Any other further questions? Nope. All right. Thank you. Bless him. Oh, sorry, George, started off fine.
So, 2 items and then closing. First one, thank you very much for speaking. Really enjoyable. We have a bevel glass plaque so that you remember AITP forevermore.
All forever. Thank you.
The second thing is on behalf of AITP, and I'm sure everybody in this room, thank you for your service.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.